Went to her window in the middle of the night. Went to her window, she turned on the light. Her name is Roma and she dances in the sand. We went for a walk and I held her hand. We stopped for pizza and talked for a while. But it's worth it, girl, just to see you smile. But she's gonna turn around and say lesbians. That's when it comes to them.
Hi Alex.
Hello.
Pregoblin.
Pregoblin.
Thank you very much for agreeing to interview us. Thank you very much for agreeing for us to interview you. You have a show tonight we're at the Fox and Firkin in Lewisham, and you have a show a bit later.
Yes.
We're looking forward to that. I really enjoy the lyrics to two kinds of music. I think it puts across the yin and the yang of the artist experience or the artist output.
Yeah.
Is that something you think about every time you do music, or is it something you kind of discovered along the way?
I wanted to write, my comedic dream was to write some middle of the road piece of music.
Mm-hmm.
The idea behind it was to write something so kind of like when an artist is reaching the end of their career and you've got a 12-bar blues structure with it, and it was meant to be referencing things like late Bob Dylan,
mm-hmm.
so like Out of Time, Out of Mind, or whatever the album is. There was some level of irony and comedy interject into it. You know, when some artists get to a certain level, they're so famous that it doesn't matter what they do, they will, they'll be lauded over, or their art will be successful. I'm thinking, I'm not saying that about myself, because I'm not at that level, but that was the record had that idea in mind, that was to release something, a 12-bar blues standard, using cliche. I mean, if in the lyrics it says, it uses that cliche of any cliche will do, right? And I was trying to reference my own feelings on the cliche of independent music as a whole, and the indie scene as a whole, and rock and roll and where it is as a genre. I mean, I never wanted to be an art school rocker, right? I hate that whole art school thing, right? I never went to art school, but obviously there's an element of that. But I'm reminded of that Picasso quote where he said, if I just put my hand print on a piece of paper, it will sell for 100,000 or something, right? So an artist becomes the very thing, it becomes this thing, doesn't it, where your name precedes the thing you're doing. I was trying to make a statement about cliche. I think cliche does very well. I think in music and art in general, the type of music that this sort of indie music that's being made, or this indie scene, in itself has its own inherent, it's a kind of dead medium. All mediums have their moments. Generally we're in a time of a retrograde time of forever looking back. I mean, the records that do well and the music that does well is retro. Post-punk is retro. Post-punk is the music most bands are making now.
That's right,
And the idea of indie is a funny one in itself as well. Independent music this idea of selling out is from a bygone era, and trying to make something different or a reaction to that we're not even there yet. Not in our genre. There are other genres I can talk about which I think are pushing the envelope and doing that, but rock and roll maybe not so much. That doesn't mean that That's not to be taken wrong. I still think you can write a great song. There will always be need for song. And I think if a song touches someone, then it's done the business.
I always wanted to write a song where every single line and word was an obvious cliche, but that also manages to move you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It reminds me of that a bit.
Well, that is my secret formula, which I shouldn't give away now.
But have to listen to the music.
But my secret formula, I think, is 2 parts cliche to 1 part poetry.
Yeah.
I think you have to say something. You know, we're at a time where we don't talk, we don't use poetry. Poetry is in itself seen as, or being seen as earnest, or an earnest rocker.
Yeah.
It's difficult in itself.
Yeah.
I want to write music that touches people, but I don't think I'm not there yet. But what I can do is maybe make people laugh.
Yeah.
You know, and there is comedy interjected into it.
No, indeed.
But I do mean it.
Yeah.
You know.
I could hold someone tomorrow. I know it's not right. It could be a woman, it might be a man, could be a wife, and brother. It could be eggs, it might be a ham, could be a record. I'll smash it! The middle is hard to breathe.
I really enjoy your lyrics.
Thank you.
You know, you say you do write love songs, and the line "the mission to be present" is it touched me particularly. That's something I have a problem with. You know, like connecting and like listening to my girlfriend a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel very connected to your lyrics. I think they're great.
Thank you. It was a very difficult time for me making that album, right? On a personal level, on some level, I failed to make the album that I wanted to make, and it's very nice that people enjoy the record, but at the time my mum was dying, and it was a very difficult time for me in my life, and I also couldn't focus on some elements, and but you know, I had the support of Strab and Jessica and Dante, and they helped me carry it through, because I could have spent another 6 months making that record.
Right.
And I didn't, and it's the record it is now. All these songs are personal.
Yeah.
That present one was a big one. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's interesting you said that, because at the time the relationship I was having with someone was a very deep relationship, and I was failing, and that's what I meant by that.
Yeah. How important do you think in this modern climate is community and scene for bands?
I think it's everything. Yeah, I think it's very important. I think music scene, artists, people engaging with the bands they like is very important, and always will be. And you can't really buy that. It's an organic thing. I think if you're good, you'll get there. It's that willingness to keep going and to have that privilege. And a lot of people don't have that privilege. I mean, it's hard enough to get by, but to make art now is difficult enough.
You mean the privilege of having the time and the money to support it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is becoming harder than ever.
Yeah.
Like when I first started in London with the Fat White Boys and stuff, it was easier to live in London and to rehearse, and we would live rent free practically. You know, we were squatting, and all that stuff's gone, and it has a knock-on effect. I think it's one of the few things we still do very well in it. You know, we're good at that. you know, we got the Beatles and the Stones. We're good at that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We're good at arts. We're good at music.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the talent is being choked by a certain nepotism and a certain attitude. It's difficult, really difficult now. And you're also, if you don't know anyone like we didn't, me and Jessica, it made it really difficult.
Yeah,
I think we need to make more money doing it.
Indeed. Well, that's the hardest part, isn't it, these days?
I mean, that guy from Spotify, what is it?
Jesus,
he made more money than any other artist.
Yeah, on Spotify, right?
There's obviously a problem there.
Yeah.
Something's going wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's a very British disease. We don't really look after our artists and our musicians, and people look to us.
Yeah.
And we should be supporting it.
People don't see the long game, do they? Like the politicians, they're selling everything in London. It's becoming a richer and richer place. But eventually, people will stop coming to London when they realise that, like, the 80s and 90s are long gone. You know what I mean? Like the culture of music, which makes people come here as well as a family. Yeah. You know, but they don't see that. They just see money, don't they?
They're not supporting the process. There has to be. You have to nurture art. It depends what you believe in. I mean, during lockdown, people needed art and music, didn't they? More than ever. Yeah. I mean, you know. But now everyone wants everything for free. That's the trouble with art. Is how do you quantify what is its actual worth?
Yeah.
It's hard to even put that into words. I think on some level, it's what keeps us human, you know.
And it's a universal art form that everyone loves.
Yeah, and I think everyone has, on some level, something to contribute.
Do you mean even as fans?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think definitely the fans themselves. I mean, what else are we here for? I mean, it's a big part of it, you know. I don't know what else I do. You know, that was the other thing. You know, I struggled a lot with my mental health, right? And I don't know what else I do with myself.
Yeah.
I can't work a job, find it hard to work a job, pay the rent and make art at the same time.
And there you go. I mean, it's crazy that someone at your level even has to work, you know? Like, 20 years ago, they would be paid enough not to have to do another job, but I think that's very common now.
But I don't know, you know.
It's tough, isn't it?
The price of everything, the value of nothing, is it?
Right. What is your purpose as an artist?
To make lots of money.
Well, that's the first time anyone said that.
I don't know. I'd like to be good. I don't know why I was put here. I struggled a lot with self-worth and depression, and meeting Leas and other people showed me that their own drive gave me a drive and a feeling of security, as well as Jessica and Dante. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do have Jessica a lot to thank for, because she listened to those songs and she was like, we have to do this, we have to put this record together.
Sorry, who is Jessica?
Jessica Winter, the other side of Pregoblin, the one that's doing a lot of
the vocals in the album.
Yeah.
So
she's the producer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
She's my writing partner.
Right.
She's the best producer I know.
Okay.
I mean, she's a fantastic songwriter in her own right. She's a solo artist.
Yeah.
But we have this thing and it works. She helped me with a lot of issues. You know, I want to make more art. I mean, for a long time, for the last few years, I've been very depressed. But I'm feeling like this year I have 3 albums I'm looking to put out.
Yeah.
That I've written one, and I have 2 others that I think are ready to go. I'd like to get paid to do them. but I'd like to do them well, and I think that's the big bit for me, is making something that of worth. You know, like it would be easier just to take my clothes off and run down the road, but you know, I might get noticed that way. But it's not about that. I want to make something of worth. And that, I guess, is my purpose, and to connect with people. All I've ever wanted is a community. Like, I love people, and I want to, not to get too teary-eyed, but I generally want to feel like I'm part of something. I believe that I am, and that there are a lot of people around me who I admire as artists, and it would be nice to make some money whilst doing it. Indeed.
You need to get a song in a film or something, you know? Into like the closing credits of like a great American indie film, you know? It would suit it very well. Yeah, it was really cool what you said about fans and listeners being part of it, you know? Like you say, you want to connect with people. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, totally. I'm quite a shy person. I find it hard to make eye contact and things like this, so I apologise if some of this is not. Also, I have a light sensitivity issue.
I'm really sorry about the lights. It's very bright.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But just you being here, right, means a lot. The whole thing, like, look, I have achieved more than I believed ever possible. When I was a young teenager in Portsmouth, I had friends who aren't with us sadly anymore. We all wanted to be in bands. We were in noisy punk bands. We made noise bands, like we were at Sonic Youth and all that sort of stuff. We only dreamt of being on Domino or being involved in that type of music, and I think of those people. So I don't take any of it for granted. You know, like, it means a heck of a lot just to even have this conversation, for someone to come along and go, oh, I like what you do. And it's not about feeding my ego, because actually I don't really care what people think. I can't be offended if someone comes along and says, your music is shit, Alex Sedley. It doesn't mean anything to me, because at the end of the day I only care about what I think. Like, I don't think I make the best music. That's what I am. I'm an artist, right? That's what artists do. It took me a long time to understand what that means and to accept that, because I never knew my career. I've had a few things I've done. I worked as a photographer and I did other jobs, right? But then I decided to become an artist, and it worked out. And I met Jessica and Dante and obviously Leah's and people, and it worked out. But a lot of it for me is just like you coming and talking to me means a lot.
Wow.
I don't ever expect it, ever. Like
it's a good attitude.
I'm kind of amazed that you would ask me these questions.
Well, I'm amazed you would agree to an interview. You know, we're just a little station building it up, and it's very kind of you to get involved with it. Thank you.
Honestly, there'll be some kid somewhere. He'll be listening in. At some point, he'll listen, and it will mean everything to him. Like it was with me. I used to listen to the Mark Radcliffe show. I used to tape it when it was on in the evening. Shows how old I am. Right? I mean, when I was young, I mean, art touched me so much. I mean, the Velvet Underground and all those great bands. Like, I put that music on and I'd be transported. You know? Be like crying. You know? I was an emotional. You know. But what do you do with that energy? You know, like.
Got to go somewhere.
God is with me to be in love with the birdies. Where am I gonna go when I die? God is with me to be in love with the birdies. Oh, well, these are the spiritual questions of my life.
I think the best is yet to come. I think my next record will be the record that I'm working on now. I think maybe closer to what's up here. Like, again, it goes back to cliche. I think it's easy to make some records, but, you know, I do care. Like, you know,
well, we look forward to
said that last bit, but you know what I mean. Like,
it better be good.
it better fucking be good now. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I'm trying to make a record, and I think the thing is, my label, they think that I'm so. They're like, that's the thing about you, Alex, isn't it? It's kind of charming how self-deprecating you are, and I am. They don't like it when I say this sort of thing, and this goes out to Jai and Pete, and who I love, who none of this would happen without them as well. They took a chance on me as Strat. But yeah, like, I think this next record is going to be, maybe it will be something else. It's moving in another direction, I know that much. Like, all right. I'm trying to open up to other ideas.
Yeah.
I think that's what you've always got to do as an artist. You know, you got to keep moving.
Indeed.
Like, two kinds of music where one is good, one is bad.
Yeah.
You know. Depends what you believe, innit? I mean, some people might say mine is bad and someone else is good.
Yeah.
But I hope that answers your...
Yeah, man, great. Some great answers, and really enjoyed this interview, and we look forward to hearing this new material and to see you play tonight.
Well, now I'm worried it's going to be rubbish.
Nah. Cool, Alex, thank you so much. Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Look forward to the show.
You.
No worries,
Cheers.
man. Cool.